everybody, and welcome back to another con report. Today we're going to be talking about New York ComicCon. I know, kind of crazy. I just wanted to give some general quick information on the convention. So New York ComicCon always, or most likely, lands on the first weekend of October. Now for us Canadians, that is Thanksgiving weekend, so it kind of works out for us in the long run since we had some days off of work. New York ComicCon runs 4 days total, so it starts on the Thursday and ends on the Sunday. So there is a bunch of days that you can go. Obviously, each day kind of offers their own benefits, I guess you could say. There's different panels, different guests, depending on the days you go. Just from our experience this year, I would highly recommend going at least 3 out of the 4 days if you can't make the 4 days, because we ended up going for 2 days, the Saturday and Sunday, and we found like it was so fast paced, it was really hard to do everything in such a short amount of time and see everything. So that extra third day would have been perfect. Now I am going to talk to you guys about the good, the bad, the very good things, and everything in between, because this convention was a very mixed bag. Because of everything going on, I unfortunately did not vlog, hence why I'm doing a convention report, because a lot of people are curious what a bigger Comic-Con is like down in the States. And New York Comic-Con, I believe, is the second largest Comic-Con next to San Diego Comic-Con, which is obviously the biggest. Also, other quick information, most of the convention did take place at the Javits Center. It is a massive convention center, but apparently this year they were doing some repairs on it. So there were 2 other locations. There was Madison Square Garden, where some panels were held, and there was also the Hammerstein Ballroom, where other panels were held as well. Now, I really want to talk very specifically about Comic-Con and how it was run. I have to say, like, the staff there were very nice. They knew what they were doing. They were very organized in the sense of like, okay, like this is where lineups are, this is where you go to here, and this is where you go there, that kind of thing. But there was a lot of disorganization as well. More so what we noticed was the disorganization in terms of where things were. We were looking actually for a specific stage where I guess they were having mini interviews with people from TV series and celebrities and that kind of thing. But nowhere on the convention map did it show where this stage was, so we had to obviously ask someone, but it's still like not convenient for anybody who's looking for this specific location and you don't have it written down anywhere. The other massive thing that I had such an issue with was autographs. There were a bunch of actually anime guests that I wanted to meet personally, but there was more or less like 1 or 2 specifically that I wanted to meet. And nowhere on the New York Comic-Con website did they say when the person was signing, where the person was signing, what panels they were going to. Every time it would just say to be determined. So it's like, I'm going into this convention, I have no clue where I get to meet this guest, I have no clue what time I get to meet this guest, and then I find out last minute that in the morning of like the Saturday or Sunday, they were giving out specific tickets for signings at the Funimation booth, and it was for not just the one guest, it was for the multiple guests, but only for a specific series. And it really struck me, because what if people don't want to meet all of these guests and they just want to meet one person? And what if people do not like that specific series that you're getting signings for? Like, it was for Dragon Ball Super, and yeah, admittedly, Dragon Ball is very popular, but not everybody likes it. Not everybody's going to want an autograph for that series. I was heavily disappointed in terms of that, because these smaller anime guests, they don't come to Canadian conventions a lot of the times. And even then, if they do, it's very far and few in between. So I missed out on these opportunities because there was no information. New York Comic-Con, get your shit together. Now, I know a lot of people are probably saying, well, it's a big convention, like obviously it's disorganized, and I can agree to you to a point. Yes, there can be some disorganization because it is so big, but at the same time, if you are running a convention this big and you've been doing it for years and years, dude, have your fucking information ready. So I was very disappointed in that, especially because one of the guests I wanted to meet was Hiro Mashima, the author mangaka of Fairy Tail, and you had to get tickets at like 8 a.m. in the morning when the convention opened, and there was no information whatsoever that you needed to get tickets for that. So I was very disappointed, to say the least. So I'm going to quickly run over the things that I did like and the panels that me, my mom, and Ghosty ended up going to. Well, first off, it started with me going to the Talk with Hiro Mashima about Fairy Tail panel, and that was such an experience. I'm actually going to make a separate video in terms of Fairy Tail, but just being in the same room as this man and hearing him talk about the pride he has and the passion he has for Fairy Tail, and that all the fans in that room were there for Fairy Tail. It was so wonderful to hear him speak about it and to see that he really did care about that series and he's happy that he could complete it and that kind of thing. Now, the really cool thing, and I'm happy about it, is that on the seats of the panel, they had this little coaster thing, and it says, "Thank you, Hiro Mashima," and it's for Fairy Tail, obviously, but they have Natsu, and then they also have Rave Master. And obviously, if you know Hiro Mashima, that is his first series that he worked on. But I think that was a really cute keepsake. Ooh! Next up, after the Hiro Mashima panel, I ran back over to Madison Square Garden, and I ended up going to the Shadowhunters panel. And Shadowhunters is a series on Netflix. It is based off of the Mortal Instruments book series, and I absolutely love both of them. It was so fun being able to talk with the guests and like see what they feel about their characters and that kind of thing, and getting sneak peeks here and there of things. What I loved about New York Comic-Con though is that you do get free stuff, and we actually got a free Shadowhunters poster. It's actually in conjunction with Marvel, so a Marvel artist actually made this, and it has the full cast from the TV series. And we also ended up getting wow, fortune cookies. I forgot what they were. We ended up getting fortune cookies because of the Jade Wolf Chinese restaurant in the series. So, like, that's cool that you get free merch and you get some food as well. So those two panels took up most of our Saturday morning, early afternoon. Then we ended up heading over to the Javits Center, where all of the dealers were, Artist Alley, like all of your industry panels and industry like booths and that kind of thing, and it was insane. It was crowded. There were so many people. And yes, I understand it's a big convention, but holy shit, there was a lot of people. It was chaos. It was utter chaos. But throughout all of that, I was able to find a booth where I got to meet Bindo Gek. I hope I pronounced that right. She is a cosplayer that I followed for a little bit online, and I was super happy to finally meet her. I ended up getting this Cinti print of her, which I think is really nice. It's so gorgeous. And I almost actually ended up forgetting to pay her, but having that Canadian blood in me, I had to go back and be like, I didn't pay you. And she thought it was kind of hilarious. And I also got a free sticker that she was not selling, but giving away at the convention for people who knew her and came up and that kind of thing. So that was a really good highlight of the day. The rest of Saturday was pretty smooth going. We didn't do too much until later on that night was the Walking Dead panel, and holy crap, there were so many people. I'm gonna try and name off the characters. There was Rick, there was Carol, Daryl, Negan, obviously. Oh my god, Morgan, Dwight, what's her name? Enid? Yeah, Enid. and I feel like there was someone else, but I can't remember. And then there was also the producers and special effects crew, that kind of thing. And again, it was such a great panel because you could see them talking about their characters, talking about the series. You get to see sneak peeks of upcoming series. And again, those types of panels you're not allowed to film at or take photos as much because you don't want to spoil that for people who aren't there, kind of thing, which I understand. I do understand. So that was a really awesome experience to be able to just be in the room as those people. It was incredible, especially with Jeffrey Dean Morgan there. He is beautiful in person and he is so wonderful. So that was Saturday. Sunday, I ended up dressing in Femme Booker, and that was kind of meh because it was so hot. It was like 30 degrees Celsius with humidity. But I ended up buying a photo op with Troy Baker, the voice actor of Booker DeWitt from BioShock Infinite. If you guys know me, I adore BioShock. Like, I could talk to you for days and days and days about it. I love it to death. So I got to have a photo op with Troy Baker, and this is him and me. Oh, it looks so good. I'm in Femme Booker and everything. And when I ended up having my prop shotgun actually with me, he was like, oh my god, can I hold it for the photo? I'm like, yes, of course, please hold my prop shotgun, like it's a dream. So that was really cool, and then I got to meet him afterwards at the autograph signing, and I got him to sign my poster for BioShock Infinite, and he obviously put Christine, and then there's always a lighthouse, which is obviously towards the series. So that was like a dream come true for me because I do love BioShock. I got to hug him, which was really cool. So that was like the highlight of my weekend, I guess you could say. That's what made it a bit better. But overall, everything else we did was just like walk around, look at stuff. We didn't do too much else really. Like, it was more so trying to maneuver, walk around, try to get through the crowds of people. Overall, what I would say about New York Comic-Con is it's okay. From my point of view, it was maybe a 6 out of 10, and I would maybe put it at a 7 because I got to meet Troy Baker. Like, he was really sweet, and it was like a moment that I'll never forget because I got to finally meet him, which was incredible. I love Troy Baker. But the convention itself, I would say 6 out of 10, personally, because there was just too much stuff. Like, it was so big and so overwhelming, and the disorganization really put a kink into plans, and I really did not like that. And a lot of people will agree that things were not organized properly. Like, we didn't know when things were happening. I would recommend this convention to anybody who wants to meet big celebrity guests, or if they want to go to those big panels like the Walking Dead panel. Or if you want to get photo ops with like Mark Hamill or Felicity Jones, like those types of things, that Comic-Con's for you because there are tons and tons and tons of guests, which is awesome. But honestly, it doesn't really matter too much for me other than like that 1 or 2 people that I wanted to meet. The only other like positive thing to New York Comic-Con is if you are really big on like free stuff or getting exclusives or big industry booths like Funimation or Viz Media or I'm trying even to think like Real Akuma, like kind of like those big industry booths that sell exclusive stuff, or you know of them when you hear the name, that's the place for you to go. But if you want to go there to have a good time and hang out with friends and cosplay big stuff, it's really not the convention for that. I almost want to say New York Comic-Con is a fanfare. Like, just go as yourself or a very light cosplay because you're going to be squishing through people to get to places, and it's just, it makes you think, is it worth it? So Overall, that's my rating of New York Comic Con. I'm happy I experienced it, but I probably won't be going back anytime soon. If you guys have any questions about New York Comic Con, don't be afraid to leave them in the comments down below. I know I probably glossed over some things, so if you do have any, ask me, go ahead. Don't be afraid to check out my channel for other con reports and con vlogs, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye guys!